what's happening, guys? In the wake of a new Spider-Man reboot, it seems that Sam Raimi's trilogy is getting hated even more than ever before. If let's say last year, when the Amazing Spider-Man franchise was still alive, there was definitely a campus of people who hate Raimi's trilogy and they're fans of the Amazing Spider-Man franchise, and vice versa. Now we've got three campuses, so they hate both Sam Raimi's trilogy and the Amazing Spider-Man franchise, and they're really looking forward to the new reboot. And actually these are people who are behaving a little bit insulting towards both franchises and write bad stuff on various message boards, IMDb boards and other news articles, how both franchises suck and basically Spider-Man hasn't been done right ever. None of the Spidey films were good. And of course, just a couple of months ago, the haters of Raimi's trilogy got some really exciting news. Sam Raimi revealed publicly in one of the podcasts that he actually thinks Spider-Man 3, he called it awful, he called it bad, and he pretty much said that his own work, the third installment in Raimi's trilogy was really a mess and a collaboration of bad decisions. Following this, the campus of Raimi's trilogy haters got 1 point to Gryffindor, and they were actually cheering up. To spice the whole argument between both franchise lovers, during the Sony Pictures leak in December, it was revealed that Marvel Entertainment president Alan Fine read the script of The Amazing Spider-Man 2 way before the movie was released, and he wanted to burn it. This just proves that this whole war between the fans of the Spider-Man films is just unstoppable and will never end. Now, surprisingly, just recently, Joss Whedon defended Spider-Man 3 and actually said that he enjoyed quite a lot. In a recent interview with the Empire magazine, he promoted Avengers Age of Ultron and he discussed the difficulties of adding Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch into the mix without oversaturating the cast of the characters in the upcoming Marvel's flick. Quote, "They have an origin, but it's largely described. They're already good to go by the time we're up and running. You don't want to fall into Spider-Man 3 territory." And I say that as a guy who actually thinks pretty well of that movie. There's some great stuff in that movie, but there comes a point where you're overloaded with front story, backstory, origin story, and it becomes very hard to juggle. My instinct is always, don't put in more, work with what you have. Now, first of all, let's not bring the amount of characters in one movie. The Avengers, for example, directed by Joss Whedon, had plenty of characters. Eventually, it all comes to a good script. Even though the Avengers had so many characters, their origin story has been told in their own previous films building up to the Avengers, and the Avengers actually focused on one particular story. There was one thread, which was Loki and his army. That's about it, without bringing anything else there. So it's not about the amount of characters, it's more about the actual quality of the script and the ability to make all these characters involved in one storyline without getting distracted by other subplots. So there's no real reason to blame Spider-Man 3, to blame Avi Arad for actually including Venom by the last minute. You know, it still could have been a fantastic film even with all the amounts of characters. You leave Sandman, it won't fix anything. You leave Venom out of it, it really won't fix it. It's just a matter of the good story without obviously rushing things. That being said, you guys already know I'm a fan actually of Raimi's trilogy, and I did enjoy Spider-Man 3. I don't really know why it gets so much hate. It had some fantastic fight scenes, some great action scenes. First half of the movie was definitely fantastic. Yeah, sure, later on with all the Toby dance scene, which wasn't really needed, and that stuff, you know, emo Peter Parker, all these elements, you know, during all these years people repeat the same thing, how Toby was emo, how he cried all this time, and it's just, you know, it overshadowed the real quality of the film, the real quality of the fight scenes, action scenes. People seem to forget about all these great elements in Spider-Man 3. In fact, just recently I rewatched it once again, and I have to say that I enjoyed a lot, just like I enjoyed it at some degree back in 2007. That being said, even The Amazing Spider-Man 2 getting a lot of hate for the amount of characters, undeveloped characters, still I believe that Green Goblin, you can throw Rhino, you can throw everything, even Peter Parker's story there still could have pleased a lot of people if they would change the script a little bit, you know, just change the direction, just make Spidey, let's say, focus only on Electro, only on Electro, and then boom, Green Goblin appears out of nowhere, once again comes to the script, comes to the story. The story in the first place is the most important aspect of a good film. With the Amazing Spider-Man 2 script, mistakes are more obvious. It was revealed last year that apparently the script has been written vice versa from the ending. So they wrote the whole death of Gwen Stacy element into the script, and then they started writing the story backwards, basically from the death of Gwen, from the Green Goblin actually causing her death, and then getting boom way down to the beginning to Rhino stealing the truck. So this was a crucial mistake. Yeah, Sony did mess up with the script, Sony did make some crucial decisions, but it always comes down to the writers in the first place. You can check out the full intro in the description box. Tell me what you guys think. In my opinion, the first and second installment of Raimi's trilogy easily overshadowed the failure of Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 2 is the definitive superhero film, along with X-Men 2. Both of these films were game changers for the whole superhero movie industry, and they actually started pretty much the whole hype for superhero genre. So tell me what you guys think. What's your take on Spider-Man 3? Do you hate it just like the majority, or you actually enjoyed it? Thanks for watching, and I'm off for now.